Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to the video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And in this one, we've taken a look at another one of the new armor sets. The fourth one, this time from Silver Rathalos. The update, of course, brought with it some fantastic new monsters, all of whom have fantastic armor sets for different reasons. We have a fantastic status option, we have a stealthy massive damage option, we have one for survivability, and we have one for elemental builds. And this is the one for the elements. So if you guys have been enjoying things like Elemental Charge Blade, Elemental Sword and Shield, Dual Blades, just in general, if you like building around elements and monsters' elemental weaknesses, this is for you. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions. Let me know if you guys have been using these. What is your favourite hunt so far? What's your favourite armor set? And of course, do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more. So to begin with, this of course is what it looks like in all of its glory. If you guys have played previous Monster Hunter games before, you probably have already seen the Silver Rathalos gear. I will say it definitely does look pretty cool. I mean, Rathalos is a monster we fought many times before, but the silver and gold Raths are definitely a spectacle, and it does have some pretty badass looking armor. But talking about the skills, first things first before we go and focus on the primary things that are of course most noteworthy on this gear, we have critical boost, which of course increases the damage of critical hits, being level 3, give you that increase to 40%. We have windproof level 3 to grant you wind protection. This of course negates minor and major wind pressure and reduces the effect of dragon wind pressure as well. We have fire attack, of course, which is synonymous with Rathalos, but keep in mind you can still use this with other elemental weapons, but it does of course have the natural affinity with fire. This increases your fire element attack power, and of course level 3 gives you plus 5% fire attack and a bonus plus 4. We also have level 5 Constitution for the reduced fixed stamina depletion by 50%. This of course reduces your stamina depletion when evading, blocking, or doing certain other actions. We have Redirection, which of course is one of my favourite new skills. This is super cool. We've of course done dedicated videos on this one, but this is the one where if you perform the nicely timed switch skill swap, you basically get an evade that is very reminiscent of Valor Evade from Generations Ultimate. And we then also have Maximum Might level 2, which of course, while active, will increase affinity by 20%. Those are of course your base skills, but of course, as mentioned, this is the elemental focus set. So we have Critical Element, which is a skill we already know about. This is the one that increases elemental damage, fire, water, thunder, ice, and dragon, when landing critical hits. Hence, of course, synergizing nicely with Critical Boost. And level 3 will of course grant you elemental damage plus 15% whilst active. So already, that is definitely a nice skill, and of course if you guys made this back in the world days, you'll know Critical Element was definitely a nice reason for having this armor. However, we also have Elemental Exploit, which increases elemental damage when attacking body parts upon which the element are highly effective. For level 1, the attacks do plus 10% elemental damage, level 2, 12.5%, and level 3, 15%. So if you guys are building around elements, you are building around monsters' elemental weaknesses specifically, and of course you want to get the most out of your elemental setups, then of course make sure you try and max out your relevant element attack. That's a kind of tongue twister right there. But anyway, make sure you try and max that out so you can get the most out of this one. Of course, in this situation, I am running with the Lunagaran Ice Sword and Shield, but you can pick your element based on the monster you're fighting. And then, of course, leaning into both of these, as long as you're attacking the weak points and, of course, the parts that are most effective, you can get some really great mileage out of this. Of course, in addition to this, the armor pieces themselves, the helmet has a level 4 slot and 2 level 1 slots, and this carries 2 points in critical boost, 1 point in critical element, and 3 in windproof. The chest piece carries 1 point in elemental exploit, 1 point in critical element, and 3 points in fire attack, with a level 4 slot, a level 3 slot, and a level 1 slot. The gloves also carry a 2nd point in elemental exploit, 1 point in critical element, and 2 points in constitution, with another level 4 slot and 2 level 1 slots. The waist carries the 3rd point in elemental exploit, 1 point in redirection, and 3 points in constitution, with a level 2 slot and 2 level 1 slots. And finally, the legs carry the final point in critical boost, the 2nd point in redirection, and 2 points in maximum might, with 2 level 2 slots and a level 1 slot. So already on the slot front, this armor is incredible. It is again one of those situations where, much like we've seen with a lot of these armor sets that have been introduced in Title Update 1, the sort of defining skill for that armor tends to be split between 2 or 3 pieces. So of course, if you do want elemental exploit, you're going to need to be leaning into the chest piece, the gloves, and the waist. So of course, it does mean you have slightly more limited options on the mix set front. But regardless, that of course is still a very nice setup, but the slot front is incredible. this thing has so many options. And of course, on the weapon front, as a quick side note, largely speaking, this will again lean into the fire element, but the silver gold weapons do look incredibly cool. The trade-off for this one basically is slightly lower raw, slightly lower fire, but much more affinity. So if you want to lean more into the critical side of things, which of course synergizes again with the Silver Wrath gear, then the silver weapons are definitely a nice choice. But of course, if you're going for the sheer fire raw, then of course it is slightly higher on the base one, not too much in it, and of course thanks to Curious Crafting we can tweak this a little bit, but that is something else to keep in mind. But overall, it is a very nice elemental set. If you guys like running with elements, like playing to monsters' elemental weaknesses, which of course gives you plenty more build diversity, then this is something you want to check out. Anyway, that's it for the time being. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are going to be using this set. Let me know if you have been enjoying the update. If you've missed some of the recent videos, be sure to check out one of these ones and keep it locked for plenty more.